Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Follower Me 111 for the week of November 15th, 2015. My name, of course, is Sean Mudflaps Morrison, and tonight we're going to talk on episode 21 about the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. It's a huge event. Tons of people go to it. It's an annual thing that takes place. It's actually this year. It was spread over 3 months. It actually just ended this last weekend, so hopefully you had a chance to go out there, have some fun, listen to some of the music, eat some of the food. Tons of great things that we're going to get into tonight. But before we dive into that, I want to apologize for not having a show last week. Actually, the last month or so has been kind of hectic, so I wasn't able to make a show last week because one of the reasons was I was sick. Also some personal things going on, but that's why there was no show last week. And in the next week, in the weeks that follow, it's going to be even more intermittent. To be honest with you, I'm not sure how many episodes we're going to make during the Thanksgiving to Christmas season. Probably won't have a new show at least for a couple weeks. So hopefully you guys are fans of this show. Hopefully you're sticking around with us. I will always put on Facebook, always put on the different social media outlets when we have a new show for you to watch. So keep that in mind, especially as we go into Thanksgiving and as we go into Christmas and then New Year's. This is a time for really not, I hope, sitting around and watching podcasts, even though I want you guys to watch my show. I want you, more importantly, to be with your friends, to be with your family, to be with the people that you love. That's why we are here. We are here, the Bible says, to have fellowship with God and to have fellowship with one another. So hopefully you have friends, hopefully you have family, somebody that you can contact, that you can go and hang out with. That's what this time of year is all about. But we still want to talk about the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. So as you go into the park, this is what you're going to see. So as you enter Epcot, you're going to see their display as you walk in. That's to welcome you to the International Food and Wine Festival. They're also going to meet little characters that they call the Taste Buds. Now the Taste Buds are kind of the unofficial welcomers, greeters that take you around the theme park during this time of year when they have special food, special places to go and buy the food that are set up all throughout World Showcase. Now as you go through the entrance, you're also going to notice that they have some really pretty flowers. They have great displays, and they're showing off the fact that this year, the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival is celebrating its 20th year. So 20 years that this festival has been going on. Lots of fun. So even though the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival does take place all throughout Epcot Center, all throughout the park, most of the stuff is located in World Showcase. If you want to get the food and you want to get the wine and you want to do all that, that's pretty much where it is. There are a couple of important things that are up close, and one of the most important ones is going to be the Festival Center. Now, that's back at the Wonders of Light Pavilion, if you guys remember a couple decades ago when they used to have Cranium Command, when they used to have Body Wars. This is that building that quite often is sitting vacant, which I really don't understand why. But you could go in there, you could take all sorts of cooking classes. They actually have some chefs who are preparing the food that you can eat. There's celebrity chefs who show up from time to time. So it's a great place to go, and it's also the place where you're going to find one of my favorite attractions, and that is about chocolate itself, and that's presented by Ghirardelli, and the name of it is From the Bean to the Bar. Now when you go in there, the first thing you're going to notice is they hand you free candy. Hello, who doesn't like free candy? And then as you walk around, you're going to see murals, you're going to see pictures that explain how a chocolate bar is made, basically. But then the best part is they're different creations or different art pieces that they've made out of chocolate. If you guys haven't seen this, it's amazing. You got to check it out. An article from the Disney Food blog says this: returning in 2015, this exhibit hosted by Ghirardelli Chocolate Company will be held in the Festival Welcome Center. This exhibit will include displays about how chocolate is made, as well as chocolate sculptures from Disney's pastry chefs. It's a fun way to pass the time while waiting for your upcoming events. There will also be chocolate items available for purchase, including one of our favorite, gourmet drinking chocolate. Plus sample chocolates, select a wine and chocolate pairing, and shop for a bag of your favorite Ghirardelli gourmet chocolates. Now what really surprised me and impressed me was the detail in these things. As you see Queen Elsa up there, or you see in the next picture Mr. Fredricksen from the movie Up, just the detail that goes into it. In fact, if you look in the windows there, you can see his and Ellie's seat that they sat in the movie Up. Now as we go and we look at the Avengers, we look at the superheroes, again, remember, all of this is made of chocolate. How somebody has that much artistic ability to just go and make superheroes out of chocolate is beyond me. So it's a really cool thing, and the great thing is all of this, all of the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival, you can see for free. You can go in and you can look at all these sculptures, all these displays, all the different things, and it costs you nothing more than the price of admission. Of course, Star Wars is coming up soon, and in just a couple of days we're going to be able to see the new Star Wars. Well, they had to have a Star Wars made of chocolate there. And in the next slide, you're going to see Baloo and Mowgli from the upcoming live action version of the Jungle Book, again, made of chocolate. And there's one more display that I want to show you guys, and that was from a Disney nature film called Monkey Kingdom. Now there, when I first saw it, I thought it was King Louie's palace, but then of course I looked at the sign and it said it wasn't. But remember, all of this, all the way down to the leaves themselves, are made of chocolate. That is pretty cool. Now another thing that's up front, and you'll see it right as you're walking back into World Showcase, is the Ocean Spray Cranberry Bog. You have to see this video, take a look at it, and check out what they did. Random cranberry bog. Now this cranberry bog that's brought to you by Ocean Spray, here's an article about it. It says, cast members and waiters stand knee-deep in the colorful bog, demonstrating how rakes are used to turn the fruit during wet harvesting. Cranberries actually grow on long vines in marshy areas, not underwater as some people might think. The night before the harvest, growers flood the area with up to 18 inches of water. Then they use the rake-like tools to loosen the cranberries, and the fruit floats to the surface. So that what you're seeing at Epcot are loose cranberries floating in water, the final step of a wet harvesting crop. So that's pretty interesting, you know? You don't expect to go and walk into World Showcase and see some cast member standing in the middle of a random cranberry bog. It's, you know, pretty cool. And you can actually stand there and they will tell you stuff about how they make cranberry juice. Now, again, if you keep walking down that same path, you're going to come to a pretty tall topiary of Chef Mickey. And he's going to welcome you back to where all the food and all the fun and all the events are held. Here, take another look. So of course, as you make your way around World Showcase, you're going to see the things that are always there. Mexico, for example, or the American Experience, the America Pavilion. Those things are always there. But along with the traditional things that you'll see when you go to Epcot, they also have what they call global markets. They're global markets they place all throughout World Showcase, and it's a way to add new flavors to the park, new tastes that you wouldn't get normally. So in fact, normally you would go to Germany and you would get the bratwurst and whatever, but they also have in that area now, or during the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival, they have a stand set up from Poland, from different areas around that region where you can go and experience different foods. So let's talk about the food stands for a moment. Number one, the way that they are designed is actually really cool. They didn't go cheap and just put out tents. They actually went and researched what the architecture is like in that area to set up their little booths. Then when you go there, this is the part where I'm going to say Disney on a dime, being a good steward of God's money. Be careful. Pick one or two things that you really want to eat and then go and buy them, because what happens? They tell you it's like $5, but then what they give you is basically a little sampling of it. It's, if they have a sandwich, it's going to be a slider. If they tell you that they're going to have this skewer thing, it's going to be small. That's my one complaint about the festival, is the size of the food and the price that they charge you. Now, a lot of people don't think like I do. You know what? You go there and the lines are forever long. But I would say make sure you pick out one or two things that you want to eat and then buy those. But realize it may not even fill you after you eat it. So keep that in the back of your head. And while we're talking about this, let's also talk about I'm a Christian. I go to the theme parks. I like Mickey. I like eating. I like all that kind of stuff. But it's the Food and Wine Festival. Well, guys, I'm not here to bash anybody, but I'm going to caution you as the Christian. You know, the Bible says that wine is a mocker and beer is a brawler. The more that people drink, the easier it is for them to get into fistfights, to get unruly. You start not thinking before you act. And I can tell you, we walked around World Showcase, and it got to the point where, as the night kept going, and there were more people there, and they're all wearing, different drinking shirts, and that's what they were there for. It wasn't fun. My mom and I, we hightailed it out of there. We went over to Hollywood Studios. We went and saw the Osborne Lights. It's the last year that they're going to be up there, so we want to spend as much time there as we can. And I'm sorry, but hanging out with a bunch of drunk people just wasn't my idea of a fun time. That's just me. But I'm going to caution you guys, if you go to the event, realize it is the Food and Wine Festival. Now, I know it's over for this year, but there's always next year. So, guys, I'm not saying don't go. I'm just saying go and remember that God is watching you and do what you think is right. So, it's a great place. It's a lot of fun. And one of the best things that they have there is their concert series. Now, like I said, every year they have a concert series. It's called the Eat to the Beat concert series. And here's just a lineup of the people who performed this year. That doesn't necessarily mean they'll be there next year. A lot of them are returning. Some of them are new. But it's something to look forward to. They had David Cook, Wilson Phillips, Christopher Cross, Starship, featuring Mickey Thomas, Smash Mouth. When I was a kid, used to love Smash Mouth. The Pointer Sisters, 38 Special, Rick Springfield, Sugar Ray. I've seen him in concert before. Wasn't a huge fan. The SOS Band, Air Supply, Fuel, Tiffany, who's new this year, Dennis D. Young, Joe D. Messina, who's a pretty good singer, Everclear, who's new, Boys to Men, Sister Hazel, I really like them. When I was there, the Big Bad Voodoo Daddies, Hanson, Maxi Priest, who's new, and so is Chaka Khan. So that all happens over at the American Pavilion, over at their stage there. So here, take a look and check out the Big Bad Voodoo Daddies.
Now first let me tell you about this cat that I once met. Smooth talker with an export cigarette. Another revive a song without a cocktail in his hand. And no one speaks his heart to the big bad voodoo man. I know they don't now, come on! In the city like a big old alley cat, with a pink striped suit and a big bad voodoo hat. And I'll live like a song without a cream on his hand. And no one speaks his heart to the big bad voodoo man.
Now, I remember growing up in the late 90s, early 2000s when swing was making a comeback. Brian Setzer Orchestra, Big Bad Voodoo Daddies, those guys were really popular. And it seemed like it was for a short time. It was kind of like a phase. But I can tell you, I remember listening to these guys, and to go there and to see the concert for free, that's pretty cool. Also, while we were there, they were doing a salute to some of the soldiers who had fought in recent wars, and they actually gave out a couple of free housing to these soldiers who are now injured. They're no longer serving, and they're just given a new house. I think that's amazing. And the fact that the Big Bad Voodoo Daddies were a part of that to make sure that these veterans, that they had a pretty nice place to go to. That's an amazing thing. So, like I said, all those concerts, they're part of what makes this festival so special. So, hopefully next year you guys get the opportunity to head out there. Now, also while I was there, they were having their half marathon, their Epcot International Food and Wine Festival Wine and Dine. Now, I actually didn't know that was going on when I went up there, but was able to get a little bit of footage from before the event started.
Hey guys, Sean Mufflaps Morrison here with Follower Me 111. I'm actually at Epcot where they're going to have tonight their Disney half marathon, the Wine and Dine half marathon. It actually started, they had a race last night on November 6th and another one tonight at November 7th. Starts at 10 o'clock and it's about a 13.1 mile race. So it'd be pretty cool to be out here and see what's going on. So that is your starting and finish line. And over there they have a booth where you can get changed if you come without, I guess, your running clothes ready to go. Got a registration tent. As you come onto the property, you can see lots of medical setup, lots of cones, lots of restrooms all set, ready to go for tonight's event. So it's pretty cool to actually see this before I come in January to run the marathon then. I actually didn't even know that they had the Wine and Dine tonight. So it's pretty cool to be here and to see the layout.
So like I said, I'm going to be in the half marathon in January. I'm actually looking forward to that, and I'm still running. So why do I bring that up? Well, for an important reason. I do have a GoFundMe page. I'll put a link over on our website, and if you will go over there and you want to donate, I'm asking you guys to donate between now and December 11th. What's going to happen? I'm actually raising money for deaf orphans. I went a couple years ago on a missions trip down to Matamoros, Mexico, and when I was down there, I met two amazing missionaries, Michelle and her husband Chewy. Now, these two have dedicated their lives to taking kids who are sexually abused, physically abused. Maybe their parents are awesome, but they don't have the money to give them food, to give them clothes, to give them shelter. Well, these kids are also deaf. Now, being deaf in America and being deaf in Mexico are two totally different things. If you are deaf in Mexico, you are treated like, I hate to say it, but kind of less than human. In fact, there have been deaf people who have committed awful crimes and have gotten away with it because of the fact that they were deaf. They don't have the same rules there that they do here. You don't have to educate a deaf person down in Mexico. So, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say these are two awesome godly people who are trying to raise money, trying to help these kids, give them a future, give them an education, love them. And guys, if this is the holiday season, and as you can see the stockings behind me, it definitely is, this is the time for sharing. This is the time for giving. This is the time of thinking about those who are less fortunate than ourselves. So I'm going to ask you to prayerfully consider going over to my GoFundMe page. That link will be on the website over at followerme111.wordpress.com. There'll be a link there. You press on that, it'll take you to the GoFundMe page, and you can donate right there. I'm going to take all of the money that's collected, every last dime, and I'm going to send that along with a care package that will have shampoo, soap, deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, any of those things that you guys want to send me. Please, I'm asking you. I want to send all of this stuff down to Mexico and say Merry Christmas from Jesus. So guys, if you want to be part of that, you want to be the hands and feet, now is your opportunity. So guys, that's going to wrap us up for tonight. I hope you enjoyed the coverage of Epcot's International Food and Wine Festival. I know that it recently ended, and I wanted to get you guys more information while it was still going on, but there's always next year. Guys, you can always plan to go. And the great thing about Disney, you know what? The Food and Wine Festival just ended, but you know what just started? The holiday season. Now you can go, you can see Christmas lights, you can see Santa Claus, you can see Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. There's so much that you can do, that you can celebrate the seasons. But guys, don't forget Jesus in the midst of that. That is why we have a holiday season. It's great, Santa Claus. In fact, my favorite is Jack Skellington's Sandy Claus. But really, Christmas isn't about Jack. It's not about Sally. It's not about even Ebenezer Scrooge. What's it about? It's about Jesus. So guys, as we come closer to the holiday season, like I said, our show is going to be intermittent. I hope you guys will stick around. I hope you guys will tune in. You'll tell your friends about us. And guys, we will see you in the new year. There's not going to be a follow Q question tonight. I'm just going to ask you guys to go out and do something for God. Have a good night, and God bless you guys.